Hey guys, Alexei here with the Remax Performance in Harrisonburg, and June is almost over. Let's talk real estate trends, shall we? So, looking at the rate, the rate has went down slightly. Last time we looked at the rate, it was at 6.85-ish, right around that area. Now it's at 6.77 for a 30-year average. Really nice. Stuff is going down a little bit. Fed is talking about, I know they've been talking about cutting rates for a while, but I think they're finally starting, to talk about cutting rates. The Fed elections are actually coming up in May. So I think, if anybody wants to get reelected, they'll probably have to do something, So stay tuned for that. But the rates are trending down. At least, they have been pretty steady around that, right under 7% for pretty long time. I mean, since beginning of this year. So I think something has to start happening soon, but don't quote me on it. I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. Then if we look at average days in the market, so average days in the market on the actives have been going down. So stuff is moving that's been sitting. The old inventory is getting out of the way, which is great. Opening up a market for new inventory out there. And then we also got on the solds, it's pretty steady, right under around like 30 days ish. So stuff is still selling within a month. We still see listings that are well priced selling within 30 days, within actually 10 days or less. If you're like listed to sell, you can get your property out of there. Then if we look at sold price versus listings sold. So if we look at the listings in May were right around, 300. And then in June, it dropped a little bit to 250. I think a lot of people listed in May to, hey, as soon as kids are out of school, we're going to list. And then June is coming up, end of June, people are traveling. July 4th is coming up. So, people are out of town. They're like, well, we'll go on vacation. We'll come back and then we'll list right before kids go back to school. So median and average house prices have went up actually. From 400 to about from 350 to about 360. And the median went up from about 375 to 390. So, very important to keep an eye out on that. The prices keep on rising. Government is still printing money. So, price is probably gonna just keep on rising. So, and then the total number of listings sold has peaked in May. Again, look, when people aren't putting stuff into MLS, they can backdate the listings. So for example, it closed today, let's say on 30th, or it closed last week, but they haven't gotten the settlement statements. They haven't marked it as sold yet, but that's going to be showing for June. So I think June's number is going to be pretty close to May. We'll have to look a little bit further in the year to see exact numbers for June, but May had seen a lot of volume sold, and I think June is going to be somewhere up there. On other things, I recently went to the local Chop and Grill. Amazing experience, actually. Beautiful real estate, nice location, no parking. So you gotta figure out, well, there's a parking, but it's always full. So gotta figure out a way to park, but really nice food. Got the burger there, really good burger. So check it out. I have the link in the email there. So, and down below to local Chop and Grill. And this was Alexei with the Remax Performance in Harrisonburg. Thanks so much for tuning in. Subscribe for more content like this and leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.